Do you identify as a perfectionist? Do you link your success with every outcome being perfect? You work long hours, you double check every detail, you push yourself harder and harder to make sure everything that you actually do is perfect. And yet no matter what you do, how much you accomplish, it's never enough. That inner voice keeps telling you you should be doing more, you should be achieving more. If this sounds familiar and you want to figure out a few ways on how to reframe and change that narrative, that inner voice, and how you show up for yourself, then in this video I'm going to share this detail. So if this resonates or sparks your curiosity, please stick around. So let's start with the myth of perfectionism. For as long as I can remember, is I've been chasing that elusive that, oh, I'll have made it if only I get the promotion, if only I get the external validation that people recognize my kind of accomplishments and achievements. You get the thumbs up on social media or the likes, and you then would feel that you would be enough as a result. But the truth is that it never feels enough. The more we actually accomplish and achieve, then the barriers or the standards keep on rising. Then you need to keep doing more. And this is where perfectionist high achievers link their self-worth with the outputs, the results that they achieve. If you accomplish more, then you will be worthy. If you check every box on your to-do list, then you will be able to rest. But deep down, you know that that never comes. There's always more things that get added on your to-do list instead of you getting to the point where you can actually celebrate the victory. And this is where perfectionism and achieving more is not the secret to success. It's actually the barrier that's keeping you stuck from the freedom and the fulfillment, and you keep on craving more and more. And this is where perfectionism is actually holding us back. That voice in our head, as I said, that inner critic, is not our motivator. It's actually keep on pushing us to do more, be more, when in actual fact, we're human beings. We're not human doings. Yes, we can accomplish a great deal, but the whole joy, the whole fulfillment of life is that we can actually enjoy being present and be in the here and now, rather than always constantly chasing and striving for something in the future, and putting that relentless pressure on ourselves that weighs us down and makes us feel depleted and less than, rather than tapping into our inner self-worth and figuring out why we are so relentless in pursuing things. And it's about finding the right balance. So let me ask you a couple of questions. What if the real power isn't by controlling every outcome? What if it was about letting go? What if you were already enough without achieving all these impossible or massive feats of accomplishment? The reality is we're human beings that were come into this human life experience as perfect souls in this human body. And along the way, we start believing that our worth is tied with what we've accomplished, with what we've actually achieved. And in so doing, we link our worth to it. And the more we actually do, as I said, the standard keeps going up. It never gets easier. It's just the hurdles become harder, and then you want to celebrate the victory that you've made, but you don't have time because you've got more things to do on that to-do list or on the goals list or the outcomes list. But this is the thing. We're in that perpetual cycle where we're constantly chasing for something. We're almost on that hamster wheel, and it's about we want to break free, but we'll get to that in a minute or so. So through my coaching work, I've actually worked with high achieving women who have sought perfectionism in their life by trying to accomplish and achieve more and more. But one of the questions that we sort of start the kind of coaching sessions with is, how do you define enough? At what point are you going to be satisfied and content with what you've actually achieved? And by redefining and figuring out what that means for each person, then we can actually make the right choices and the right decisions for each individual client. And one of my kind of biggest success stories is where this one client was actually working really long hours, had a really busy family life, and at the same time she was constantly wanting to strive and achieve more. So she was also studying on the kind of side after her full-time job and taking care of her family. And this is where we sort of defined, well, what was enough for her? And we time boxed it within each kind of time period. So for the next month, what would be enough? Then in 3 months' time, what would be enough? So then we sort of made it into chunks that it was more achievable for her. But at the same time, we also questioned, why did she want to achieve as much as she wanted to achieve? Tony Robbins has got a brilliant quote, which is, we overestimate what we can achieve in 12 months' time, and we underestimate what we can achieve in 5 years. So sometimes we can be the hardest taskmasters for ourselves, and maybe slowing down and reflecting on what is enough for me, what is enough for me this month, then what is enough for me next quarter, and reviewing it in that incremental milestone phase. You can actually get a lot of stuff accomplished, but you actually take away the pressure and you take away that relentless need to constantly be doing more. But you get the opportunity to slow down, self-reflect, and celebrate some of the victories. And the result for that client and several other clients has been that they've gained more confidence. They felt less stress. They actually had a deeper and more fulfilling and meaningful relationships in their personal life and in their professional life, because they stopped being as hard on themselves. And by listening to that inner critic and challenging it, and being clear on what you wanted to achieve and why you wanted to achieve what you wanted to achieve, you were able to sort of like take some of the pressure away. So what happens when you step off that hamster wheel of perfectionism? Now imagine that it would be possible for you to live with that kind of sense of, I can actually be present, I can be consciously planning ahead what my day is going to look like, and then achieve those outputs in that day and celebrate them. But don't make it so impossible that you actually are starting the day from a very stressed, anxious survival mode. You actually start from, I am excited, I get the opportunity to accomplish the things that I want to accomplish today. So that reframing mindset can make such a tremendous difference. You can actually feel proud for the millimeter incremental progress that you're making. It sounds counterintuitive, but slowing down actually helps you to go faster, because you can see things from a more strategic perspective. You can evaluate, am I maybe even trying to do too much today, or am I trying to do too much this week? And you can adjust and course correct to make sure that you're actually showing up as the kind of full energized version of yourself, and you can actually end up being more productive as a result. And what if you start sort of like redefining the enoughness of you, the worthiness of you, that you are enough and you are worthy, whether you achieve or you don't achieve today, whether you have accomplished all your outcomes and all your goals or you haven't. But this is where it's about you being kind and compassionate to yourself, but having that definition of what enough is, but separating it, your worth and your ability to love yourself is separate to what you can actually achieve and accomplish, because there's lots of factors that can influence the accomplishment of goals, and it's not all just because you've not shown up and you've not done enough. So it's about you sort of recognizing that boundary of where you can contribute, but you don't need to contribute to absolutely everything. So sometimes it can be a collective collaboration with people. And this is where it's absolutely being clear what enough means for you. So that is the kind of first step. It's about defining what enough is for you. And it's also about you taking a moment to sort of like slow down, self-reflect, and see where you're seeking perfectionism. And in so doing, is that weight holding you back from actually taking action? Because sometimes the standard is so high, the fear of failure, of not succeeding, then actually keeps us even more stuck. So let me know in the comments below if you are currently identifying as a perfectionist. Are you taking steps to review what enough means for you? And have you got the kind of daily being present and celebrate the victories as you go along? So if this is content that has resonated with you, if you've been watching 10 minutes in, thank you very much. Please like and subscribe if you're not already doing so. And if you think this content would resonate with someone in your family or within your kind of friend circle or your colleagues, please share this with you. I'm trying to create a community tribe of like-minded individuals who are wanting to celebrate the victories, be kind and compassionate to ourselves, but at the same time take radical responsibility, because we are the ones that have got to show up for ourselves and we've got to take care of our own internal needs. So please go out and seize the day. Have the most amazing day, whatever you're up to today, but maybe self-reflect. What is enough for you? And remember, there's always choices in life, so choose wisely. Bye until the next one.